Hi friends, it's been a while since I've done a budgeting video. So for the past couple months I have still been budgeting, but I've just been doing it all online and every dollar, and I haven't put it on paper. And while things are going perfectly fine, I do like having this sort of paper copy just so that I have it saved and I can look back on it. And also because when I don't have it on paper, I also don't go back typically and do any sort of analysis on my spending. So we're getting back into it just in time for the end of the year. So I wrote out all of my November sort of bills or things that are going to be coming out of my account. I get paid 5 times this month, which is awesome. It's always fun. And what I typically do, so you'll see my first couple paychecks, I do have sort of bills or things to pay coming out of it. But my last ones, I don't really have much going on. And so, especially given the fact that I have an extra paycheck this month, that extra paycheck is gonna go fund a lot of different things that I sort of been putting off, which you will see when we look at my individual budget. So let's take a look at that. So first we have my sort of intro overview page. This month, my main goals are going to be to finish funding my emergency fund. So I had a goal that I set at the beginning of the year that I wanted to increase my emergency fund to after depleting it a bit last year when I bought my car. Obviously it was not an emergency, but I thought I would be okay with a leaner fund, and then I realized I would rather have a larger emergency fund. So my goal with this month again is to finish that up for the year, and I think next year I'll also increase it a bit, but since there's not a really big hurry, I'm just doing a bit at a time. The next one is to complete my Roth IRA. I schedule transfers from my checking to my Roth every paycheck, and then once it hits, I go and invest it. And so I will be reaching the maximum for my Roth IRA this month, so finishing that up. And then the other thing is to stay in my house decoration budget. So we decided that we will be staying in our current apartment, but basically I realized I am happy here, I just never really treated it as a home, and so finally I am going to treat my apartment like a home. And that means I want to sort of replace some broken pieces, like we have a broken desk and a broken chair. I want to buy like a welcome mat, and I want to have like a seasonal sort of like piece on the door, and so all of that stuff. And so I set a budget, which you'll see shortly, and my goal is to stay within those parameters and not go, wild and crazy now that I know I'm staying. And then I also wrote some reminders, which were that it is a 5 paycheck month. Obviously, I'm not gonna forget that, I'm so excited. And then other things like Thanksgiving, the Black Friday, and the Cyber Monday sales that will follow. And then also that my identity theft insurance is going to be renewed. And then at the bottom here, I just have all the bills that I pay each month that have like hard deadlines and things like that. And since I'm filming this on November 2nd, you can see a few have already been paid. And so yeah, so I wrote down what my monthly projected income is. I also plan to probably sell a bunch of like planner stuff I bought the past couple months, and so that will probably go up as well. And then I have all of my rent. My lease isn't up for a little while, so everything is the same there. And actually, since the weather's getting cooler, our electricity bill went down, which is nice. For groceries, I set the budget at $250, and that's basically there's 5 weekends roughly in November, and so I said I go grocery shopping each weekend, and I'm trying to stay within $50 each time I go shopping, and so that's where I got that amount. Eating out, I'm trying to limit myself to actually eating out just like once a week, and so I figure about $10 a week should be good. And then dates, I figured also going out once a week, about $25 a piece, and so that's where I got that $125. So then down here, I have gas, car, and then my auto registration. I need to get that done. I also need to get an oil change, and so when I get the oil change, I'll get the inspection, and then I'll go get my, renewal sticker and all that good stuff. But I think I'm just gonna pull the oil change out of car like other and call it a day there. And then other typical things here. I have been overspending a lot in my hobbies. I think I had it set for $50 and I've not been reaching that amount. So I said, you know what, let's be honest, and I do like my planner stuff, and I'm gonna give myself $100 a month. And there's no reason for me to feel bad or guilty because I'm doing a lot of other things with my money that's very productive. And so this is one spot that I can spare and that I enjoy. And then I typically end up selling half the things I buy anyways, so it's not even like a true wash. So there's that. So the reason why this is an odd amount, I want to update a little bit of my wardrobe. Like I know I'm gonna need a new pair of shoes, maybe get a new pair of pants, and I tore some workout pants, so things like that. But I put it at $63.13 because that was, once I did my budget, I had a little bit left over, and so I just tossed it into that category. That's typically what I do. Since I do a zero-based budget, I have to reach $0. So that's what we do there. Then here, typical health stuff. Insurance, I have where I'm getting that renewal. Charity, gifts, all of that stuff. So one thing, Christmas is next month. It's the 25th of December every year. But because I'm finishing up my Roth IRA, which I do about $500 a month, since I'm finishing that up this month, I'm gonna do the $500 I normally would put towards my Roth in December, and instead, since it's all maxed out, I'm gonna use that as my Christmas budget. And I really don't typically spend $500 anyways, but whatever extra I don't spend will end up going to either my emergency or my house savings fund. And so that's what you'll see down here. My savings is projected. This is the amount that I need to hit the emergency fund goal. So I put that aside, and that's basically coming out of my extra paycheck. Same thing with the kind of miscellaneous things like the insurance, my car registration, my clothing, all of that stuff is pretty much coming out of that extra paycheck. And so that's kind of what I use whenever, every couple months I get an extra paycheck, and I typically use that. So like last time I used it to fund my auto insurance, and I think before that I used it for some other random kind of thing. Because I'm used to living off of those 4 paychecks, I treat that 5th paycheck as just like extra savings typically. And so, yep, everything equals what it's supposed to equal. Then I have my expense trackers for my checking account. I have expense tracker for cash envelopes, but I really don't think I'm gonna use those this month. Yeah, I think I'll just use my card. And when I use a credit card, and then I pay it off basically the very next morning whenever I do my shopping. I know that's not ideal for like building your credit score and things like that, but I'm not really concerned about my credit score. I mostly just use a credit card for security because my debit card was hacked like once, and my brother's card was hacked like 2 or 3 times. So I'd rather use a credit card in that sense. Then I have my expense tracker and my sync for savings, and then for my sinking funds, these are outdated, so I'm gonna have to reprint this. I forgot that I wrote those in. So yeah, these are way outdated. So yeah, so we'll redo that before the end of the month and have that set. And then of course I do my budget review and my net worth review, and that will come at the end of the month. And so I think that is all I have for today in terms of my budget setup. Let me know if you want me to show you. So I do my budget in EveryDollar, and then once I've tweaked everything and decided on what I want, I come and I plug those numbers into here and print it out, and then I have this copy that I like worked on. But most of my budgeting things take place in EveryDollar, and then I use this as like a paper copy just because I like being able to do check-ins and to analyze my spending and stuff at the end of the month, and EveryDollar doesn't really have good mechanisms for doing that. So that's why I do that. But let me know if you're interested in seeing my EveryDollar budgets and how I do that, and I will be happy to share those as well. But that is it for now, and I will see you guys in a couple weeks with a mid-month check-in and then the eventual budget overview. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye.